There was great war and famine in the land. Mysterious creatures haunted the forests, killing animals and the hunters sent to feed the people. At night, these creatures would invade towns and villages, leaving trails of death and sorrow. Those marked by them became possessed, twisted into something inhuman. In the midst of this terror, a knight rose from the shadows, blessed, anointed, and ordained by King Gaza himself, armed with magical abilities, and began to slay the dark creatures, forcing them back into the woods. Peace returned, but only for a time. He was marked with dark magic by the demon lord, Hatarakua. Though he was not possessed like others, the evil mark cursed him with a fatal illness no magic could heal. This knight had a son, still tender in age. Before death claimed him, the knight shared tales of his victories and the honor he earned. Then he did two final things. One, he ordained his son, passing on his title to become the next knight, protector of the city. Two, he sacrificed his remaining days, binding himself into a magical barrier that shielded the castle, buying time until his son could rise. That boy's name was Kenji. His destiny was clear: to defend the city, protect its people, and restore peace from the creatures lurking in the shadows. By the order of King Gaza, Kenji, the knight's son, was enrolled into a sacred training ground known as the Night School, a place where future protectors were forged in discipline and magic to follow in the footsteps of legends like his father. There, Kenji formed two important bonds. Mina, a determined and skilled trainee; Karu, a spirited friend who lacked the passion for battle. Though they started together, Karu eventually dropped out, unable to connect with the path of a knight. Instead, he found a new way to serve by opening a bakery, helping reduce famine and provide food for the people. Kenji and Mina, however, continued their rigorous training. 10 years passed. Both had grown into powerful teenage knights. Together with a select group of fellow warriors, they would venture into the forest at night, hunting and defeating the dark creatures that threatened the land. By day, they often visited Karu's bakery, sharing laughter, bread, and the comfort of old friendship. Kagarashi stirred in her sleep, trapped in the depths of a dark and painful dream. Flashes of her tormented past and the weight of her servitude to the demon lord. She jolted awake, heart racing, eyes heavy with sorrow. Silently, she rose and dressed, preparing to face the very being who had both saved and bound her. Hataraku, the demon lord. Deep within the cold halls of the demon castle, Hataraku sat on his throne. His powers were deteriorating. The creatures he once commanded were failing to deliver humans, leaving him starved of the souls he needed to survive. And worse, Kenji's strength was growing. And with every rise in Kenji's power, Hataraku's own magic weakened. The boy had become a threat, one Hataraku could no longer ignore. Desperate, the demon lord turned to his servant, Kagarashi, instructing her to lure Kenji out, earn his trust, and then destroy him, ending his bloodline. One quiet day, Kenji and Mina went scouting along the seaside, searching for signs of lurking creatures. The air was still and too calm for a region haunted by beasts. As they scanned the coast, Kenji's eyes caught sight of two young women swimming just off the shore. One of them was Kagarashi, appearing carefree in the water with her sister. Their joy seemed untouched by the darkness the world had known. But then, the sea began to rumble. Without warning, the calm waters turned violent. The current shifted, Waves crashed, and the sisters struggled to stay afloat, now dangerously far from the shore. Kenji stood frozen, torn between panic and duty. He had never learned to swim. Suddenly, a massive sea monster burst from the depths, rising high into the air. Before anyone could react, it snatched Kagurashi's sister, Dee, and devoured her in a single, horrifying motion. Screams echoed. Kagurashi, still in the water, was frozen in terror. Then Kenji, filled with rage, charged toward the beast and ended its existence. Meanwhile, Mina dove into the sea to save traumatized Kagurashi.
Kagurashi finally woke up, tears streaming down her face. Kenji, who had taken it upon himself to watch over her recovery, comforted her gently. He knew words couldn't undo what had happened, but he hoped his presence could help her heal. Over the following days, their bond quietly grew stronger. Through small conversations and shared silences, Kagurashi and Kenji became close friends.
It looks a bit crooked.
Kenji introduced her to his friends, Mina and Karu. They welcomed her warmly, and for the first time since the tragedy, Kagurashi smiled with ease. One sunny afternoon, Karu suggested they all go for a swim. Kenji hesitated, his face tightening with concern. He hadn't forgotten how Kagurashi lost her sister. But before he could protest, Kagurashi agreed, Karu and Kagurashi swimming happily in the water. But Kenji, however, stood at the shore saying, "I'll stay on shore in case any demons show up." Kagurashi jokes about Kenji guarding shadows instead of learning to swim, but Kenji spoke honestly about him being better with a sword than with water. But at her encouragement, he finally agreed. Removing his armor entered the water, Kagurashi guided him gently, helping him float, but the moment she let go, Kenji sank. Kagurashi dove after him, grabbing his arm and pulling him back to the surface. In that moment, something new began to bloom between them. After their swim, Kenji and Kagurashi walked side by side along the quiet path. Suddenly, Kagurashi gently held Kenji's hand and asks, wanting to know why he's afraid of water. Then Kenji stated how his mother drowned when he was young, and how it affected him. Kagurashi's grip tightened, stating how she truly admires his bravery despite being scared of water. They stopped walking, looked at each other, and they were getting really close, until Mina interrupted their moment. Later that day, Kenji and Kagurashi sat on the rooftop of a tall building to watch the sunset, and both talked deeply as Kenji asked about her consistent nightmare, and she mentioned how she was abandoned by her mother. Kenji also told Kagurashi what he hadn't told anyone of how he lost his mother before the barrier was ever put in place, and how creatures constantly attacked the castle. But his mother was never afraid. She was free-spirited. Just like Kagurashi, she loved to swim. But on a faithful day, while they were both out, a creature dragged her into the river. She fought to get him to the shore, but she couldn't escape, nor could he save her because he was just 3. Kenji also talked about his, and how his father died protecting the land from those same creatures, and letting Kagurashi know the reasons for doing what he does. Kagurashi sat in silence with heart heavy as her mission echoed in her mind, questioning herself why she's meant to kill someone like him. He's kind, brave, and he's only trying to stop the killings. What if the real enemy isn't him, but the creatures? But another voice cut through her thoughts.
So the little weapon I sharpened is rusting?
You forgot who breathed life into your broken body, Kagurashi. He may have touched your heart, but I own your soul, child! If I can't command your loyalty to me, I will command your fear, taking what you hold dear, and tear it from your hand.
Let you bleed for betrayal.
He's here.
Now the barrier is broken. Kenji, taking Kagurashi to safety, putting Kagurashi in Mina's care. Creatures started coming from underground. Kenji running to fulfill his duty as the knight his father ordained.
You'll be safe here. Just stay put.
She steps forward, guilt and fear fighting in her chest, knowing fully well what she has caused. But soon enough she's discovered by Kira and Atira, both disappointed that she couldn't carry out her mission properly.
You should have stayed loyal, Kagurashi.
They decided to end Kagurashi's life as a price that she must pay for betrayal. It was an unending battle with the creatures, and a very long night too. Kenji, now fighting alone, then sees Kagurashi, being held by the same girl, her sister from before, whom was devoured by the sea creature. But he couldn't wrap his head around this shocking twist.
Kagurashi.
Kira lands from the sky with lightning, deciding to finish up Kagurashi. Atira changed the scenery with her flowery illusions and started messing with Kenji's mind.
Mother.
Haruko, why did you cut your beautiful hair?
Mother, it's me, Kenji.
My boy is all grown
At
up.
this
You look
point,
just like your father when
Kenji
he
could
was
no
young.
longer tell the difference between the illusion and reality, but wanting to make up for his guilty
If you
conscience.
love me so much, then why did you let me die?
Mother.
Now Kenji and his mother both enter the reconciliation phase.
I'm sorry, I never taught you how to swim, Kenji.
Now the same monster that took his mother before showed up again, but Kenji made sure to slay the creature this time. Luckily,
Kenji, snap out of all
Kagurashi
this. It's
forces her
not
way
real.
into the Kenji's
Kagurashi.
illusion, pushing past Atira's magic and breaks it. Kenji finally breaks free from the illusion and realizing Atira has been defeated, but he's still trying to process everything that just happened, from the discovery of Kagurashi's true identity down to the illusion that felt real.
You can hate me later, Kenji, but for now, I've switched sides. So you can either fight with me against the darkness or we both perish.
But before Kenji could speak, Kagurashi's transformed, a display of her power. Kenji is stunned. Now Kira, angry that Atira has been defeated. Kagurashi charges towards Kira, ready to end it all once and for all. Their blades clash hard, a test of power, but Kagurashi, with the urge to live a free life, gets an upper hand over Kira. And with a magical hit, Kira is defeated. Kenji, amazed by Kagurashi's powers and sword skills, dumbfounded. But the next thing he knew, Kagurashi is taken off guard by Hataraku himself.
Kagurashi!
Before Kenji could think he's knocked off guard as well,
Your soul is mine,
Hataraku, wanting to drain Kenji's strength in order to kill him. But Mina cuts in, trying to cut Hataraku with her sword, but realized quickly that he's no human, nor mere beast. Kagurashi rushed in as well, but couldn't stop him either. Kenji joins in with the same quest of defeating Hataraku, but he's too strong. They all fight in sync, but they're no match for Hataraku. And with a final magical blast, they all fall to the ground. Mina is severely bruised, and Kagurashi cries in defeat. Hataraku then transforms into his true demon form. Kagurashi loses all hopes on the battle.
Fight him alone!
But Kenji charges straight at the Demon Lord, with all hopes to fulfill his destiny. He fought with all his being, but was overwhelmed by Hataraku, who was happy to end his life. Kagurashi scream in fear of losing Kenji, which triggered the awakening of the Phoenix. Her aura explodes. She rises into the sky, full form. Revealed, she launches a burning dive towards the Demon Lord, ready to clash, while Kenji watches in awe as Kagurashi becomes the flame that defies darkness. The Demon Lord fears Kagurashi not just because she's strong, but because her power is untamed and unpredictable. He gave her power expecting control, but the Phoenix's flames are fueled by free will, love, and the will to protect, which is something he can't manipulate. That alone terrified him. She then hits the Demon Lord with a devastating blast, and Hataraku's power flickers for the first time. His face shows something new. Fear. And with final burst of fire and light, the Demon Lord was conquered, Chair defeated, and he begins to disintegrate, turning into ash and smoke, carried away by wind. It's been a month now that the monstrous creatures vanished into dust, and the castle that was once trembled under darkness now glows in warm sunlight. The barrier that once kept evil out was no longer needed because the source of darkness is gone. The castle no longer trembled. The sky was no longer dark. For the first time in years, the wind carried laughter instead of screams at the hill where the barrier once stood. Flowers had begun to bloom, wild, untamed, and beautiful, just like Kagurashi's new life.
Kagurashi!
Kenji!